Welcome to the NLP UK Training Podcast. I'm Callie Fraser.
And I'm Steve Kay. And today we're going to talk about how we got the pink dot on our logo. A few years ago, my mum, bless her, had a bad back. And we went to see them in Buxton. And Josh was like little, very little. And we went into the house. And the first thing I do when I go to mum and dad's is find the kettle. So I filled up the kettle. We carried everything in, all Josh's stuff and toys and bedding and nappy bags and stuff. He was 15. No, he wasn't. And we carried it in. So then I'm going to make a mug of tea and for everybody. So the first thing you do is go to the kettle. Anyway, I plugged the kettle in. It was filled up, switched it on. And then in front of me was a red dot. I'm like, oh, I didn't really register it. Then a little bit later, I went upstairs to the bathroom. On the bathroom cabinet was a red dot. And so I'm thinking, red dots, all these red dots around. So I went downstairs and said, Dad, there's red dots at the top of the stairs and in the bathroom and by the kettle. I said, what's that all about? He said, ask your mum. So I said to my mum, what's with the red dots, mum? And she was like bent over a little bit and she went, oh, it's to remind me to stand up straight. And so it's like a trigger. So a few years later, or a little bit later, I was with Mark Pritchard-Jeffs, our financial coach, and we were brainstorming stuff. And we got this idea of a workshop. And he said, because by this time we kind of got the pink logo, but the same thing kind of happened around the same time, I think. But we were talking about a workshop which we titled called How to Be a Better You. And he said, well, you've got your pink dot on the logo. Why don't you give people pink dots? So we started giving people pink dots. And we say, this is to trigger you to get into a good state before you go into a meeting, when you start your day, whenever you do this. And so I started off, and the very first workshop I did was a leadership program. And we're doing How to Be a Better You. And I said, what have you got, guys, that'll trigger you into having a good day? And they're like, oh, I don't know. And I said, so I got these dots out on sticky backs and cut them up and gave everybody a strip of like 12 pink dots. I said, right, so I want you to chat amongst yourselves about where you're going to pick your pink dot. And one lady said, I'm going to stick mine on my laptop. So when I open it up, I've got it right in front of me. Remind me to be in a good state and to choose my mood. And this other woman said, I know where I'm going to put my pink dot, Steve, on my husband's forehead.
Yeah, that's taking some chances with that one, isn't it?
But it was kind of metaphorical because she was like thinking, oh, well, if I imagine my husband, whenever I see him, he's got a pink dot in the middle of his forehead, then I'll be my best self with him.
Absolutely.
So we started using these things called pink dots and giving them out to people. And that's where the logo kind of originated from, with How to Be a Better You.
I can remember when I did my NLP Practitioner with you back in 2017, and you gave me a sheet of pink dots.
And everyone else.
And I can remember at the time, for those of you that are parents of teenagers, that's probably all I'll need to say.
Yeah.
When you've got a teenager, it's very easy not to be your best self.
Yeah.
And I don't think I was being my best self with my teenager at the time. So what I did was I got home and I actually put a pink dot on her bedroom door.
Did she not mind?
She didn't even realise it was there for months.
Because it was on the outside.
Yes, it was on the outside of the door. And then when she did ask me about it, it was really interesting, her take on it. Because what had been happening, teenagers aren't the tidiest of creatures. And I can really remember all the friction that we used to have about the state of our room. So I would knock on her door, open the door, see the mess. Mummy would hit the ceiling and come back down again 10 minutes later. So
because she caused you.
She caused
you.
Yeah, mess.
Nothing to do with your thinking.
But this was really causing a lot of friction between us. So I can remember thinking, as soon as I got the pink dots, I knew where that pink dot was going to go. So I put it on the door and it would stop me. It would make me stop and take a breath.
Yeah.
and think about how I wanted to interact with her.
Yeah.
Did it really matter? There were days.
Well, your impact is going to have an impact on her, isn't it?
Absolutely. Because what I was doing wasn't working.
No.
Screaming and shouting at her to tidy her room was having absolutely
You get
zero
pushback,
impact.
wouldn't you?
Yeah. So what I would do is I'd see the pink dot. I'd take a breath, choose my state,
Yeah.
open the bedroom door,
Yeah.
and try and blank out the mess. Now, the mess still bothered me a little bit. I'm not going to lie. But it helped me to keep...
You could do a clapstanker on that with NLP, you know.
Absolutely. But I would just take a breath and have a conversation with my daughter in a normal tone, no raised voice, no getting at her, because that's how she saw it. Mum's getting at me about the state of my room again.
It's Mum's fault.
And this weird thing happened. The room got a little bit tidier. So it wasn't perfect, but it was a little bit tidier.
So basically, it's how do you trigger yourself into having a positive impact on other people, like the 4-minute rule that we talked about before. Podcast 7, he says, anally. I'd had a look yesterday at what we did on each one months ago. So pink dots.
Pink dots.
You can get them on Amazon, all good stores, not good news agents because they don't do pink dots. But you don't have to use a pink dot. You can use anything you want, can't you? But a pink dot is kind of nice, isn't it?
Just anything that will help you to stop and think about what kind of person do I want to be?
Yeah.
How do I want to impact other people? How do I want to come across? And it can just help you stop and make a choice about who you want to be.
Yeah. It's also interesting when we think back to a few weeks ago when we had the one about inside out thinking and people triggering your mood and triggering your petty rage and stuff. Actually, it all comes from inside anyway, but this is just a reminder that you can trigger a good state as well as, and after a while you'll tend to find that you realise that you get a better impact if you knock on the bedroom door, how are you, what are you up to, and go from there, really.
Absolutely.
Because you don't get anywhere, do you, with you need to tidy your... That's your mum talking, isn't it?
Yes.
It's probably your mum talking and you've got it ingrained that that's the way you're supposed to behave. But it's not, is it?
Just coming from my script.
So we'd like you to maybe email us. You can get the email off the bottom of the
website.
Pause. But you can go onto our inquiry form, anything you want to, and just let us know how you've used your pink dots and what you do to have good impact on other people. And also, if you've got any subject areas you'd like us to discuss, we had a few from Doreen and Granger yesterday about what they wanted us to discuss on their next set of podcasts. So, Callie, short one today.
Absolutely.
Pink dots.
Will see you back here in a couple of weeks for some more great stuff.
Until then, have a great day and remember to subscribe.